Hello, welcome to this short video where I'm going to go through some of my favourite keyboard shortcuts in Windows. I'm actually using Windows 7 here, but the keyboard shortcuts I'm going to show are appropriate for Windows XP as well. They do the same thing. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down to a picture of a keyboard, and the first set of keyboard shortcuts I'm going to demonstrate are those that use the window key. This is the window key here, and by holding this down plus a letter key, it'll do certain things. I just want to run through four of them. The first one is the Windows key and F. And what that does, it brings up a find box, so you can find files. So if I type in the word pivot, for example, it brings up a list of files and also folders that contain the word pivot, or contain files that contain the word pivot. Really easy way to find files. So that's the Windows key and F for find. The next one is the Windows key and E. What that does, it brings up Windows Explorer. This allows you to look around your various disk drives and shared folders. Again, just to say, I'm using Windows 7 here, but Windows XP works in the same way. So I could click here to go and have a look at the C drive. I could double click here and have a look in that folder, have a look in that folder, have a look in that folder. Oops, there's no folder, no stuff there. But you can see you can navigate about looking for files, looking for the various places that you have available to you where files might be stored. That's Windows and E for Explorer, Windows Explorer. The next one's really useful if you've got a lot of windows open and you want to get back to your desktop quickly. The Windows key and D for desktop will come back to the Windows desktop, and you can see down here, look, any windows that you have open have been minimized onto the taskbar down the bottom here. And then Windows and D will come back to where you were before. The next couple of keys I want to look at are function keys. These are function keys across the top, F1, F2, etc. up to F12. Some of these function keys do different things in different programs, but some of them always do the same thing. I just want to show you a couple of those. The first one's F1, which always brings up help. So for example, I'm in Microsoft Word now, so if I press F1 and just wait a second, it'll bring up context sensitive help. So it's brought up a little box about using Microsoft Word. Now this is context sensitive, as I said before, so if I was using one of the menus, or if I was in the middle of doing something in Excel, creating a formula, and I pressed F1, it would give me a help box that was appropriate to where I was. It's context sensitive. The next function key, which I find useful, is the is F5, which is refresh. And I'll show you this. Look, here I've got a window with my Outlook Web Access in it. And sometimes if you're using Outlook Web Access, you might get a new email, but nothing actually appears on screen yet. It probably will appear eventually. But what you can do is if you press F5, it forces the screen to refresh and go and look at the server again and see if there's any more information. Now this can be useful too if you're using Blackboard and you're changing things in Blackboard. Pressing F5 will always show you the latest version. It tells the browser to go back to the server and pull down the latest information. So that's F5. Okay. Some more keys now which I find useful. A couple of key combinations I find useful for capturing the screen, which you can then paste into other programs. Let me show you how this works. So for example, if I just bring up Excel like that, if I press the print screen button like that, it's captured the whole screen. If I come back to Word, the print screen button is this one here, look. And now I've pressed that print screen button. If I put the cursor somewhere in this document and then choose paste, it'll paste an image of the whole of the screen that I was looking at before when I pressed the print screen button. There's another thing you can do as well. I'm just going to come back to Excel there. Now if I hold down the Alt key while I'm pressing print screen and press them, if I now come back to Word or some other program that I can paste into and click on paste, you can see this time it's pasted just the active window. So Alt print screen will capture just the active window. Print screen on its own will capture the whole of the computer screen. That then can be pasted into Word or into Paint or some other graphics program. So just come back to the keyboard. That was print screen and Alt print screen. The next key combinations are useful as well. If you've got a lot of windows open at the same time, you can use Alt and Tab at the same time. So I'm going to just do that now, Alt and Tab. And what it does, it goes through all the active windows. So if I, for instance, come to this one and loose, it goes to that particular active window. If I want to come back to Word, Alt and Tab, and keep tabbing till the highlight comes back there to Word and loose, and it comes back to Word. So it's a really good way, Alt and Tab, of going through, toggling through a number of open windows. Okay, the last few I want to show you are to do with the Control key. Here's the Control key. Press Control and a letter, you can do certain things. Now, the first one I want to show you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to Excel. Now this works in Excel, but it also works in all other Windows programs. Control and A will select everything. I could do that too in Word, look. If I come to Word and do Control A, it selects everything. Once you've selected everything, you could change the font, or you could cut, or you could copy, or you could delete. But Control A always selects everything, all. You can also use, just move the cursor off these a bit. You can also use Control and this set of keys, Control X, Control C and Control V. They're all together in a little block. And Control X allows you to cut. I always imagine that the X is like a pair of scissors for cutting out stuff. So rather than using cut from the menus, you can use Control X. Control C is copy, C for copy, and Control V is paste, the shortcut for paste. So that little shortcut, this little block of keys, X, C and V, cut, copy and paste, can be used instead of using the mouse, or instead of using the menus in Windows. Very useful. The next one, Control key, is very useful. I'm just going to open up this window here, and sometimes, especially if you're using a browser, there's an awful lot on in the window, and you might have done a sort of a Google search to find a particular web page, but then you want to search on the web page itself. And what you can do is, if you use Ctrl and F, this is in any browser and in lots of programs as well, Ctrl F will bring up a little find box like this. And if you type in a word, I've got the word pivot in here, I'm going to type in a different word. Let's type in the word PowerPoint. And it comes up here, look, 1 of 7. So there are 7 instances of the word PowerPoint on this web page. I can just use these arrow keys to jump between them. Can you see it's highlighted all instances of that word on this web page, and I can use the little arrow keys to jump between them. So Control F is really useful for finding words on a web page, or finding words in Word or things like that. Whenever you're searching within a web page or within a document, Control and F will help you find them. And then last, it's Control Z. Control Z is like saying undo. So if I just come down here, look, and if I type some words in, I'm just going to make this a bit littler. the microphone's on near the keyboard, so it might sound like thunder. This as a bit of text. So if I type that in and then I select that word and delete it, and then type another word in, I can use Ctrl Z. I'm going to do Ctrl Z now, and it goes back a step, and if I do Ctrl Z again, it goes back another step, and if I do Ctrl Z again, it goes back another step. So it's just like clicking on undo, Ctrl Z. Right, that's the end of the keyboard shortcuts. Thank you very much for watching.